Recording live from the Northeast Georgia Business RadioX studio. This is Northeast Georgia Business Radio. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to another exciting edition of Northeast Georgia Business Radio. I'm your host, Tom Sheldon, and yeah, we're coming to you live from the beautiful Empower College and Career Center of Jackson County. I have with me another great guest. I know all my guests are great, but hey, they are. I have with me today a gentleman from Massey Insurance Services, the Sam Massey Jr. himself. Sam, welcome to the Northeast studio.
Hey, thanks so much, Tom. Glad to be here.
Glad to have you, man. How are you?
Man, fantastic. Sun is shining, birds are chirping.
It's a beautiful day out there.
Oh, gorgeous.
This is money.
No doubt. Wish I was, wetting the line or swinging the sticks.
Massey Insurance Service. I'm betting there's something to do with insurance.
Maybe just a little.
A little bit?
Always more behind that, Tom. But the insurance, we do a lot of things, and on the insurance side, life insurance, long-term care, disability, annuities, and we also have an investment side of our firm as well.
All right, full disclosure, you are the, I'm going to say, other half of Miss Morgan Massey.
Correct.
Who was in studio a month or so ago.
She was my boss.
She's
my boss.
And
the Energizer Bunny.
Morgan, I prefaced it by saying the other half and not better half. I hope she hears that.
I'm sure she will.
She's awesome. We loved having her in here. All right, man, so let's get down to it. You just woke up one day and said, boom, insurance?
No, Tom, that's...
Didn't you want to play ball or something? Or
I did. That's exactly
we
what
all
I wanted
did,
to
yeah.
do. I had no idea this was the calling or the path I'd be led down. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. I wanted to play ball. Fortunately, went to Clark Central High School and played for Billy Henderson, played football and baseball. I ended up passing up full rides to play both sports. I could have played college football or baseball. And
did you really?
so it's smaller schools, your Western Carolinas, your Middle Tennessees, your Georgia College. I think I was a little burned out, after playing both sports and not taking a break. It's you can't live a life with regrets, but if I had one, that may be the one I wish I'd at least tried. And so I decided I was a journeyman in college, Tom. 4 different colleges, and had a great time. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted to do, and so I finally figured out I wanted to coach and teach, and so I was a kinesiology major.
What in the world is that?
Yeah, exactly.
That is a huge word.
You wear glasses and say kinesiology major. And
I'm not even attempting.
People think you're kind of smart, but it's just PE coach.
You're kidding me.
Nope, that's it.
Really?
I was going to be a PE coach.
Well, you kind of killed the old, the build up there, but okay.
No doubt.
Wow.
I'd figured out what I wanted to do. I was going to coach and teach, and my father came down to visit me. I was down at Valdosta State. He asked me to go on an appointment. I told him, I said, Dad, I don't want to get in the business. It's not what I want to do. I've kind of figured out my path. And he said, okay, go on this appointment with me, and I'll promise you 2 things. And I said, all right, Dad, what are they? He said, number 1's a steak dinner. And I said, sold.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't need to know what number 2 is, but go ahead and lay it on me. But he said, all right, number 2, I'll never ask you to get in my business again. I went, this is a win-win. I get a steak dinner. He's going to never ask him to get in his business again. And I'd been on a bunch of appointments with him over the years as he tried to get me to look at this business. And we ended up driving over to Moultrie that night. I still remember walking up to the door. One of those moments you never forget. A woman met us at the door. He sat on the couch with her. I sat on a love seat, and there were 2 kids playing in the corner. I can still see the 2 boys playing with a Tonka truck. After the pleasantries, my father opened his mouth and he said, I'm so sorry for your loss. The father had been killed in a car wreck. And
oh, wow.
He was there that night delivering the life insurance check. I listened to him talk to this woman. I was floored. I listened to him talk to her about why he put the insurance in place and how he was going, how they had laid a foundation and a plan to help keep that family in the same world. If something like this had happened, felt like that was a moment. God kind of reached down and said, "Hey, this is what you're supposed to do with the rest of your life. This is what I want you to do to take care of people."
I don't know if he reached down. I think he might have shook you a little bit on that one.
Yeah, it definitely shook me.
So I guess you're saying the old man's pretty smart.
He's pretty smart.
Yeah, he is.
He also talk about being smart. He also flip it back to Miss Morgan, but he also hired Morgan. And
well, he's one of the smartest men to walk this planet.
No doubt. And in that first interview, he, believe it or not, said, "I think Morgan may be a good fit for my son." And the stars happened to end up aligning, and
how about that?
That's how we ended up meeting.
So you born and raised in Athens?
I was, yeah, born and raised, and
you've never left.
No, well, just for college, a couple of years,
right.
Bouncing around. But no, grew up on Millage, as they say. Went to Alps Road, then Clark Middle, and then Clark Central.
Clark Central. The feared Clark Central.
It was a great time. Coach Perno's slowly bringing it back during those Billy Henderson years. We were a feared team when we stepped off the bus.
No one wanted to see you come to town.
No.
And no one wanted to go to Athens.
No.
I remember those days.
Yeah.
You're a little bit younger than me, not a whole lot, but I remember those days. Oh, that went on for decades.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I played that 95, 96, and 97 teams, and I think we deep in the playoff runs every year. Lost only, I think, 4, maybe 5 total games in those 3 years.
Right.
So.
How long had your dad been in insurance?
So he got in the business in 73.
Okay.
Actually had his 50th year
Last
reunion.
year?
Yeah, just
this year?
Yeah, just this year.
He's still active?
Yeah, still active.
Oh, right.
So
bless him for that.
Yeah, he's not happy unless he's going 1,000,000 miles an hour with his hair on fire. So
I can understand that.
That's just the way he's wired. But yeah, he's still rocking and rolling, and he's been in business since, like I said, 73. I joined him 21 years ago.
There's a lot of insurance choices out there. What do you do for your clients?
That's
not a fair question.
No,
that's a very open-ended
Yeah.
question. Why am I going to call Massey Insurance Services?
That's a good question. So, there's so many different options out there, Tom. One thing, we are independent. And so what independent means is we're not locked into one company. There's not one company that I'm tied to. There's not one company that I'm trying to push a client to. We represent over 40 different companies.
Wow.
And where we've truly, back to that night I decided to get in the business, I listened to my father tell this, widow, we designed a plan to keep your family in the same world. And that's really what we do with every single client that we sit down with. Our job is to help walk them through the process, help them understand, and help them figure out, those hopes, dreams, goals, and wishes that they put in plan today that they've talked about, whether it be, hopes and dreams for the, mom and dad, whether it be hopes and dreams for their kids. Nobody knows what their kids are going to do, but,
right.
If my kids were to excel in something, I hope that the money would be there to help them achieve those goals, whether I was here or not, or whether Morgan was here or not.
Right.
And so the planning has to be put in place today. What's the saying? No one plans to fail, but all too often people fail to plan.
Exactly.
And so that's really where we get in, talking about the nuts and bolts and what's important to that family. And then again, it's not just families, where there's businesses as well. Meeting with business owners and how can we help your business continue to flow? God forbid something were to happen to one of those business owners. So it really just comes down to the planning aspect and everything that we do, working one-on-one with our clients to make sure that they're taken care of.
So you're customizing a plan per client.
Correct.
No cookie cutter.
There's not. Every single client is different. Every single client has different needs, different 1 children, 3 children, 5 children. Every business has its different aspects. It's how many employees they have versus what they're trying to achieve in the future. And so it's not just the life insurance aspect, but speaking to the life insurance aspect, LIMRA recently came out with a study that said 70% of Americans are underinsured. Now, that doesn't mean that they still may have life insurance, but they don't have enough to keep that family in the same world.
They're not prepared.
Correct. Right. And so, and when we talk about the same world, I'm talking that you'd hate the plan I put in place, Tom. I didn't want Morgan's originally from Griffin. And being raised in this area, I wanted my kids to be raised in this area. Be raised. My family's close to here. We've got a lot of friends in this area. I didn't want her, because I passed away, that the money not be there, and she'd had to pack up and move back home. And so it's things like that we help talk about. How do we keep that family in the same house, the same cars, the same clothes? Make sure there's money for college or trade school, or whatever those kids want to do. Make sure that the planning is put in place. That no matter what happens, they're going to be taken care of.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what are some things you take into consideration to put these plans together, but I think you just answered it, if not all, most of that question.
It's not, we've talked about not being a cookie cutter. It takes, it takes a long conversation sometimes.
Yeah, I bet it does. Maybe multiple.
Correct. Our first appointment is a lot of times, it can be up to 2 hours to 3 hours to get through all that. Now, we don't try to do that all in one sit down.
Right. No, I don't blame you.
Because there is so much that we need to cover. And I'll stay with that life insurance aspect. Mm-hmm. A lot of clients that we talk to go, well, I've got group insurance. And we always go, well, that's fantastic. But a lot of times your group insurance isn't portable. That means you can't take it with you if you leave that company. Or it becomes so expensive that you couldn't afford it, when you left. And so all of a sudden you get in trouble, banking on that group group insurance. Or if you were to leave a company and go to a new one, you couldn't take it with you. A lot of your new companies require you to be there 90 days before you can get on the insurance. So all of a sudden you're going 90 days leaving your family not quite covered. And so then you go to, we call it paycheck protection, but really it's disability insurance. But when you say disability insurance, everybody goes, I'm never going to get disabled. Paycheck protection, it doesn't matter if you were sick, injured, fall off a ladder, get in a car wreck. If you can't go back to work, what are you going to do? Right. How are you going to continue to pay the bills? And a study was done, I think it was the same group, LIMRA, that said it was literally 60% of the households in America couldn't go 1 month without their income.
I think it's higher than that, but yeah. Well, honestly,
correct. It really is. And so it's so important to sit down with somebody like me or somebody in our firm and kind of have those difficult, conversations about, hey, what would you do without your paycheck tomorrow? How could we put a plan in place? I use the old kind of, if I'm sitting down with a client, try to make it easy, Tom, and go, I'll put two jobs in front of them. Job A pays you $100,000 a year. Job B pays you $98,000 a year. Based on that alone, most people are going to choose job A.
Why not?
Correct. Right. So all of a sudden, you get in a car wreck and you can't go back to work. Job A pays you nothing. Job B pays you $60,000 a year tax-free till age 65. That's as simple as paycheck protection needs to be. That $2,000 less in income just went to play to put that plan in force to cover you all the way to age 65.
Gotcha. So you're somewhat forecasting the future a little bit, or trying to.
I hope that every client that we put a plan in, I hope we're all wasting money, Tom.
Yeah, no one ever needs it.
Correct.
No, I'm with you on that.
I hope that we're putting money in a barrel and lighting it on fire, and we never need it. But we all know that life is unexpected. Life is hard, and we can't predict the future. There's only two guarantees I know of, and that's death and taxes. Mm-hmm. So if we can find a way to help protect you and take care of you if you were to pass away, or to help you find a way to limit the taxes you're going to pay on certain plans, hey, that's what we do. We're
going to dive into future taxes just 1 second. Before we do, though, I've got to talk about one of my great community partners. One of our great community partners is Piedmont Injury Massage. Injuries can come from everyday life or even after surgery. Massage can be a benefit even if the damage was done a long time ago or it just happened. Contact Piedmont Injury Massage today and find out how they can help you with your recovery. Owner Hart Fandrich provides a personal, hands-on service with many types of massages. Visit PiedmontInjuryMassage.com. That's PiedmontInjuryMassage.com and begin your path to recovery and wellness today. And while you're at it, check out our new website, negabrx.com, to see all our great community partners. Sam, you still there?
I'm still here, buddy.
Nice, man. Hey, you got to pay bills, man. You got to pay bills.
That's right.
All right, future taxes. Taxes.
Yeah,
the thought just scares me.
No, it is. It's hard to sit anywhere and not think that future taxes are going to be higher. And so we've always been big on diversification, and not just on the tax side. Diversification with any plans that we're putting together. Life insurance. And one thing, Tom, I didn't hit on originally, one of your first questions.
Yeah.
It's my job to make planning easy. It's my job to make insurance easy. And so when we do sit down talking about diversification, we are breaking down. I do business with 40 different companies. Every single company is a little bit different in how they structure their plans and how they make conversion options available for people down the road. Now we have, when I got into business, we had one long-term care policy that was a use it or lose it. Now we have 3 different types of long-term care. So my job is to make insurance as easy as possible. And that's on the diversification side. But on the tax side, really trying to help people look at, I think 401ks are fantastic. Mm-hmm. However, especially if the company you work for is matching. If they're not matching, we need to speak sooner than later.
Right.
But, my question to anyone with a 401k is just making sure they're aware of who their business partner is. And their business partner is actually the government. Because the government in the future, upon your retirement and upon you starting to dip into that 401k, is going to tell you what taxes are owed on that 401k. So I try to have people look at this. Everybody has got a mortgage. Well, would you enter your mortgage knowing that you don't know the interest rate, and 30 years from now, they're going to tell you what your interest rate was on the last 30 years. That's technically what you're doing with your 401k. So our job is just to help them look at some other strategies. And so, hey, we don't want to take everything away from what you're doing, but if we can help you diversify it, help you come up with some different strategies that, hey, if the tax rate is through the roof and you get ready to retire and we put a plan in place over here, we can dip into this bucket, take some money out, and not have to worry about what's going to be taxed in your 401k. Assuming that the client is of good health, you can actually use life insurance.
Really? Okay.
So you can actually build money inside your life insurance policy that's tax-free.
Is it really?
It's tax-free, and you can actually dip into it at any time.
Really?
So unlike your 401k, if you go to dip in that early, you're going to be not only taxed but also penalized.
Right?
So I actually, I talk a lot about life insurance isn't just for when you pass away. It can be used, while you're living. When I got in the business 21 years ago, my father, I wanted just to buy some term insurance, just some cheap term insurance, and he said, "You need to buy this permanent life insurance policy." But Dad, it costs more. I don't want to. You need to buy this permanent life insurance policy because it's going to build cash value. You can be your own bank. You can borrow from yourself and do some things down the road. So I had to have gastric bypass 5 years ago. Morgan's a personal trainer, and here I am working out twice a day, 6 days a week, eating super healthy, and it didn't matter. I could not get off that 400-pound ledge. And
really?
My metabolism had literally stopped working. In high school, I played football at 275. I played baseball at 225. So I had to lose 50 pounds in a month and a half to get ready for baseball.
Play ball.
And then as soon as baseball was over, I had to put it back on. I'd ruined my metabolism. However, so we decided to look at gastric bypass, but health insurance wouldn't pay a dime.
Really?
Wouldn't pay a penny.
That's a health issue, health concern.
Correct. But would not pay a dime of my gastric bypass. And here I am on a CPAP and 9 different medications for...
And a young man to boot.
Correct. Wouldn't pay a penny. So I reached into my life insurance policy, borrowed $25,000 out, paid for my surgery, and then paid the money back over the last 5 years. I'll use that to pay for kids' education, to pay for retirement, or anything I want to. You want to buy a car down the road. It doesn't matter. It's your money, and so it's a great place to diversify. Put some extra funds for that person who's really worried about what taxes may be down the road.
All right, now insurance business can't be all happy endings and happy stories.
No, it's not. I love what I do, and I love taking care of people, but because of we talked about it, death is inevitable.
You're going to see it.
We do see it. We see it across all ages and all spectrums. I've had to deliver death claims for older ages. I've had to deliver death claims on children, and it's terrible. It's,
the unexpected.
The unexpected, but it's kind of why we did the planning and put the plan in place.
Right.
It's one thing we've kind of changed over the years. We started finding, as technology age crept up on us, when we go meet with a client 11, 12 years ago, we'd go deliver the life insurance check, and they'd go, "Well, that's great, but do you know what my husband's password is to the bank account? Do you know what my husband's or my wife's password is for these 9 different accounts?"
Right.
And so I read a book years ago that said, "I'm dead, now what?" And so we started putting together programs. So not only when we do that planning on the front end, we also do the planning on the back end. When we deliver that life insurance check, actually when we deliver the policies, we do a breakdown of here, help them fill out all their passwords, all their documents, get everything in line.
You're doing that.
Correct. We're doing that.
That's huge.
Oh, it is. It's just a problem that we kept running into.
Oh, I can see that happening all the time.
Oh, it's crazy.
Wow.
How often it happens. So we started putting plans in place like that. That way, that widow didn't have to worry about, I don't know what the password is for XYZ. Now, it's not foolproof. If we sit down, we want to sit down with our clients every 12 months, and whether that's in person or doing a Zoom call, simply because as your life changes, we want to do that review and we'll go through all these passwords and go, "Hey, have you changed this? Have you updated this? What can we help you organize so, God forbid, something happens, you are prepared."
I was about to ask you, is this something that you revisit once in a while, but you just answered it.
Yeah,
you're reading my mind somehow today,
well,
Sam.
I have my moments.
You've done good today. Taking the questions right out of my head. I never thought of that. That service alone is amazing.
There's some clients that we don't do anything for other than to help them organize their current plans they already have, make sure that there's no gaps, no holes, and then we will help them organize, like we talked about, what happens if XYZ happens, and that's all we do. We send them out the door and go, "Hey, you've got a great plan. We've helped you organize this. If there's anybody else that you know of that may benefit from our services, great. But all we do is help them reorganize what somebody else may have put in place 8, 9, 10 years ago."
So you look over, I hate to say anyone, but you look over anyone's situation.
Correct. I got into this to help people.
You apparently did.
And so there are a lot of times that, hey, we don't make any changes to what they got. They weren't one of our current clients, but they heard about the services that we provide, and they go, hey, I want to sit down with you. And so we provide them the exact same attentiveness, the exact same services that we provide a current client.
I'm going to give you the last word. Why do the folks, you just said a lot of it, why do the folks need to get a hold of you? We're going to give a website in just a minute.
Well, we didn't invent the rainy day, but we sure have some great umbrellas. But, there's just so much that needs to be talked about, needs to be done to make sure you have a plan in place that takes care of you and your family. We love what we do. We're independent. We love taking care of families and small businesses.
What's that website?
MasseyInsuranceServices.com.
That's easy. And you're on Facebook?
Yep, and Massey Insurance Services on Facebook.
It's a good thing y'all named it Massey when you did. That'd be awkward.
It would be,
All right, man, they're going to play my music any second. That means I got to start wrapping up. Sam, hey, thank you so much for being in here.
I appreciate it.
Seriously, I love what you're doing, man. Great job. Oh, and there it goes. Folks, hey, another great episode. Check Sam out, MasseyInsuranceServices.com. Man, getting the passwords and stuff together, that's a winner. Hey, I'm Tom Sheldon. Another great episode. We'll talk to you soon.